ball to check downs underneath, vertical runs. You get in some of those situations, certainly the one there in the red zone, and you just got to be better there.
When you have a first-time starter freshman who goes out and throws a couple interceptions, how do you make sure that his confidence isn't wrecked by a game like that?
Yeah, there's a lot of trust built up, I think throughout the year, and with him, there's no magic dust, if you will. There's nothing you can necessarily just go and say to somebody. He's a confident player. He always has been. He understands it's just going to be getting back to track, getting back to work. And as the hardest position in all the sports, you got to have a short-term memory, and I know he'll bounce back.
Pushing the big picture, what's your main take on why the offense struggled so much this year?
I think we got to do, a big soul searching on that, if you will. I can never pinpoint just one specific area. Obviously, as you guys know, throughout the year, there's been a mixture of a lot of things. It's been penalties, and whether it's been turnovers, and for me, at times when you feel like you want to go be aggressive, you just constantly are in that mode of dialing it back, turning it on, dialing it back, and it starts with me. But unfortunately, we weren't able to put a winning formula together, and we got to figure that out.
What about switching to Gavin? What went into that decision, and just what did you see from him?
That was just based off of Cutter not being able to go. So Gavin's been tremendous all year. He has to be a guy that started 16, 17 games and be in a two role and get his opportunity and all. He's had an amazing attitude. I'll never forget him for that, and I'm appreciative of him going out there and playing with a good attitude today.
And again, I wish I could have given him a different result.
Right. We talked before the season. It seemed like for us, you had one of the most talented rosters you'd had on the defensive side of the ball coming in, and some things imploded. There was some rushing, it struggled this year. But what do you guys do to rebuild? And because the defense has been the foundation for so long.
Yeah, we played well. At times, we got injured at some spots this year, but that's always the thing. When people ask, okay, on paper this looks like the best defense you've had, or this or that. Listen, paper doesn't mean anything. Like, we've got to go out there week in and week out and perform. And the test of the best units are the ones that can withstand adversity. And at times this year, we didn't rise to the challenge of some of those adverse situations. Now, there were some times that we did, but I think coaches said it. It's about consistency, and we were not consistent enough, and so that's something that we have to get fixed. We got to look at ourselves in the mirror. It starts with me. It starts with all the coaches, how we coach it, scheme-wise, what do we need to change, and then that trickles down, and then the players and the techniques and their execution and their toughness, because it's a long grind of a season, and you can't just be good for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. You got 12 of them, and you got to be darn good in 8 of them, pretty good in 2 more of them, and then it's hard to be perfect all the way through 12. So you're probably gonna just, the reality of it is you're gonna have 2 average ones, but we can't have those big dips.
I know you guys take pride in the rivalry, owning the state. How frustrating is it that streak goes to an end as well against Louisville?
Yeah, extremely frustrating. Every loss hurts, but when it's a rivalry game, it hurts more. And so now, that's going to be something that we have to sit on here, for the next, whatever it is, 8 months. And it's got to be our fuel. It's got to fire. It's going to light a fire in our bellies and push us to new limits. To get back where we want to get to.
Brad, in years past, y'all's defense has been known for stopping the run, but this year you struggled at times, especially today. What do you think went wrong in that aspect of the game this year?
Yeah, that's obviously something we'll have to get addressed. You know, we've had a lot of experience, you know, in years past, you know, and you know, again, not to there are areas that we need to get fixed. You know, we know, you know, we know what we have to do and where we have to get those addressed and fixed.
Brad, since you've been here, basically, you've been linked to other jobs. What do we make of the latest round of rumors linking you to other positions?
I mean, it's a yearly deal. Again, it's more of a testament to what this defensive unit does year in and year out, and what this coaching staff does. And so, again, on those deals, you know, I've got to sit down and talk with Coach in terms to make sure that this is where I'm safe. We all have to talk to our body. Listen, just like the players have to own up to what they've done wrong. I've got to sit down and I've got to get corrected. You know, some things that we need to get corrected, and that's where my focus is. My focus is, you know, coming in tomorrow, you know, figuring out how we need to get the roster right, and then throughout the next month or two, figuring out what kind of scheme we need to get right. You know, and hopefully, you know, I've got the ability to do that here.
How tough is it to lose to a rival like that?
It's really tough, especially like, you know, just being from Kentucky, being from Lexington at that. It's like, you know, I'm growing up, like as I grow up, it's like, you don't like Louisville, you don't like Louisville, you don't like Louisville. It's drilled in my head, and then, you know, you come out here and lose. So it's definitely a tough one.
What went wrong today?
You know, I don't know. I just feel like too many costly mistakes on both ends of the ball. I feel like there's definitely some things that we could have done better on offense and defense. So there's no pointing fingers at one side of the ball, because definitely it was both sides of the ball. But just fundamental things that went wrong, and can't have that against a good team like that.
You know, early in the year when losses happen, you guys say, well, it's things we can correct. But the whole season, they weren't corrected. How tough is that to swallow, you think?
It is tough, but because, like, I know throughout the week it's being addressed in the meeting rooms, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know, I just feel like, you know, when it comes game time, sometimes we just don't apply it. And I don't know. I feel like it's twofold, honestly. So.
There's just been a lot of talk about roster turnover, the portal. As a younger guy who's been with this program from here, like you said, what's kind of how do you try to keep things together to where, you know, the whole thing doesn't fall apart and you all are able to course correct during this offseason?
I mean, obviously it's hard because, you know, you never know anybody's next move. You know, I might turn around and ask a guy, what are you doing? He tell me he's staying, and then he go up there tomorrow and be like, you know what, I'm leaving. So it's kind of hard to do that. But it's like at the end of the day, when the spring comes around and whoever we have on our roster, that's who we have on our roster, and that's who we're going to spring ball with. And then the next year, whoever we have on the roster, when it comes to summer, that's who we have on our roster. So it's really just trying to build chemistry and just trying to play together and be one, because the rosters change, and it changed so fast. So, yeah.
Ty, they ran for 358 yards on the ground today. What happened in the run game?
I don't know. I guess people getting cut out of gaps and stuff like that. They weren't really doing anything that we didn't see on film. But, yeah, I don't know. I can't tell you.
I know it's so
about it, so I ain't even happy about the 2 touchdowns. But, I mean, he did great. He stepped up. We didn't get the dub, obviously, but, you know, I'm proud of him, and you know, I'm thankful for him.
Your offense obviously didn't score a lot of points this year against power conference teams. Now that you're looking back on it, what do you think was the big issue?
Man, it's a collective thing, man. You can say the receivers, you can say the running backs, you can say the O-line. It's just all of us, man. Just stuff that we know we could have worked on, that we could have done better. I mean, I feel like we're still a great team, and just made a few mistakes, man. You just got to look back on the season and learn, and then just, you know, grow. So.
Jamar, you've been with several programs, and there's been a lot of talk here about the culture and about getting back to where the culture was. What do you think needs to be fixed on that end?
Probably a lot more leadership, man. more leadership, man, holding guys accountable for things, and a lot more discipline from all the guys. I feel like that's what's going to help us take the next step. You know?
Is it harder to get that kind of leadership in that transfer portal area, where you got guys who haven't been here but maybe a year or two?
It is a little bit harder, I would say. Definitely for me coming in, like I'm always been a natural leader at the past 2 schools I've been at, but you know, it kind of took me some time to grow into that type of role, and I tried to lead my receiver group pretty well. So you know, man, it's a learning process.
When you say more leadership, are you talking about player leadership, or?
I mean, it can be all around, whether that's player, coaches, whatever it is. At the end of the day, we're still a team. I don't want to point at, you know, just one person or one specific group, you know what I'm saying? So just all around, we just need better leadership.
Jamori, did the way your season ended so strongly, does that affect your decision on that extra year of eligibility at all?
Yeah, it could, but I ain't even focus on that right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take some time, go home. Shoot, I'm about to go home right now. I'm about to pack up and go home and spend some time with my family, and we'll talk about it and see what happens. So.
You guys kind of have a timeline set with Stoops when you guys would like to kind of know those answers for kind of everybody, not just yourself?
I really don't know, man. I can't really speak for everybody else. I'm not really going to throw a timeline on. You know, I'm just go home, like I said, and spend time with family. So.
Do you see the pieces here to be better offensively in the future?
Oh yeah. We got a lot of young guys. Like we got Cutter, we got Harley, we got a bunch of young guys that can step up and be really good for this program. So it's just all about just getting those guys ready for next season. You know, the season's over. So.
Yeah, just we didn't have the season we wanted to, you know, especially in this loss as well. Not what we expected to come out, but we got to come back next year with a better team, better be disciplined more as a team.
In your mind, what's missing?
We just got to go back and watch the film. I mean, there's a lot of things we got to fix.
There's been a lot of talk about culture, getting the culture back to being more disciplined and hard-nosed. Yeah. How do you guys do that?
You know, start on the offseason, start with the coaches, with the players as well. You know, just having leaders come in leaders, and get the younger guys to, you know, buy in the culture we have there.
Is it harder to get that leadership when you have the transfer portal and some guys haven't been here but a year or two? Is it hard for them to step up and be leaders when they're new coming in?
Not really. They just gotta, you know, the people that been here, they gotta set it straight and let them know how it is over here.
When you lose like that to Louisville, well, what is the message or the atmosphere like in the locker room? What were guys saying? Were they saying anything? What did that look like?
It was just down because we haven't lost it in like 5 years, so it was really down. But, you know, we give credit to Louisville. They had a good team, better team than we did today, so we just got to come back next year, you know, keep rolling.
Is there a fire that it gives you guys to go back out there next year and flip the script again?
Yeah, for sure. We can't have that here, like in the state of Kentucky. We can't be losing to Louisville, so we got to, you know, come back next year and really dial in.